Hello there, good to see you again. Glad you're here. Ian Cathcart, Minister in Flemington Hallside Parish Church, and this is Thought for the Day. And if you've just stumbled upon us, welcome. Good to have you with us. So, the point is, in the 1920s, in one particular American football game, a university team, the State University of Alabama, American football team, was playing against an opposing team, and in their away outfit, which was kind of white, but they were playing on a field where the mud was kind of red. And so when the rain started coming down and the game carried on as usual, the white tops of the Alabama State American football team became quite red, which was ironic given the fact that they normally had a kind of crimson top when they were playing at home. They won their game, and the commentator from the other side said that their team just couldn't cope because the Alabama State University team had just hit them like a crimson tide. And the manager of Alabama State University American football team basically liked that idea and kept it and used it. And so it became something which people who supported that team used to say, that they would refer to it as a Crimson Tide, but the chant became Crimson Tide, roll on. They had rolled on to the pitch like a Crimson Tide, but the phrase roll on in the university, the Alabama University, became this kind of chant meaning beat the opposition, do well. Since the 1920s, this phrase has kind of left the university environment and become something which in the state and then increasingly in other states in the southern parts of America, to say roll on means to do well, to kind of affirm the person, inspire the person, go for it. In other words, it started within the context of one specific American football team, but it kind of seeped into the everyday language of lots of people in the southern states of America. Ian, this is all really kind of interesting, maybe, but I haven't a clue why you're telling me. Well, the simple fact is I've got a video to show you. It only lasts about 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes. The point is, if you don't know what roll on means, you're not going to get that bit when he says what he says. And here's the issue. I want you to get every word that this man says.
Before you call the cops, I just want you to know the first thing that I did when I woke up this morning was yell at my alarm clock. My parents were raised in the South. I have to roll Tide or they'll disown me. They raised me in Las Vegas. That city still has my heart. I hate spiders. I'm a vegetarian. I'm not proud about it. I've done goat yoga. I'm really not proud about that. I can tell you every single word off the NWA Straight Outta Compton album. I can also sing you every single word from Oklahoma. Bananas are disgusting. I am a Christian. I spend almost every Sunday morning teaching kids in Sunday school. I am often asked if I am Muslim. I'm okay with that. I'm pretty much convinced if you met my mother, you'd automatically become a better person. My father is a veteran. He taught me how to say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am, to everyone that I meet. I don't hate our president. I pray for him. I love basketball and also hockey. This is my brother, James. This is my brother, Mike. This is my brother John, and this is my brother Rob. I've never been to jail. I've never owned a gun. I hate that anyone at all might possibly be afraid of me. I'd go around the world and back again if I knew that single act might make your day better. I'm a proud man. I'm a proud black man. Does any of this really matter? No. I just wanted you to get to know me better before you called the cops.
Why show that to a bunch of people who are British, who, in the most part, are probably white? And, well, what does it have to say to us? What you can do is take the easy option. Donald Trump's a really weird guy. Americans are really weird people. It's terrible, the racism in that country. How on earth can the police behave that way? It's easy just to take it at that superficial level. We're on this side of the Atlantic, thank goodness. And they're on that side of the Atlantic. Bunch of weird people. Oh man, you can leave it at that. Or you can actually do what I think you're meant to do in this situation and say, are there people that you treat differently? There are clearly people in America who look at black people with a degree of fear, with a degree of anxiety, they see threat. They certainly have a very negative view of them. Do you view anybody like that in this country? Do you start sentences the way some people, when you listen to some of the folks in America talk about the way blacks are like this or blacks are like that, do you speak about people in groups? Do you have a viewpoint about Catholics? Because, Catholics are like that. Do you have a viewpoint about English people? Because it's well known that English people are like that thing that you think. Are you clear about the fact that you don't just come from Scotland? You come from the west coast of Scotland, and you come from Glasgow, and they're from Edinburgh. If you want to play safe and say, oh man, I'm so thankful I'm not American. I'm glad I'm on this side of the Atlantic and not that side of the Atlantic. I'm just suggesting perhaps that is a really easy option to take, because that means you play safe and you don't have to examine any of your motivations or any of your prejudices or any of the things that people might in other circumstances point the finger at you and say, how can people think that way? So don't get me wrong. I understand that when you look at the situation in America and you've got people who do, as the guy said, call the cops like that, and will say an African American is harassing me and threatening me and making all kinds of, movements towards me, and it's you can see it's kind of feeding into a certain attitude of dread. I'm just saying, maybe the godly, maybe the Christian thing to do is to recognize that the way to look at the coronavirus and look at it and see that it's a lens and a mirror, maybe you should recognize that whole lens and mirror thing isn't just applicable to the coronavirus. You're supposed to look at the situation in America and then look at it as if it were a mirror. Where are the disfiguring things in my character and in yours? Where are the lines in my vocabulary where I justify things because they're like that, those people? Maybe they have a different accent in America, but maybe they're more similar to us than we care to admit. Go with God, because I know God goes with you.